Today we're talking songwriting. Now let's say you've written a song that you love, you have the melody, the words, the lyrics, but the chord progression is just feeling a little basic. That's fine because you've already done the hard work. The melody's the most important. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at a couple of tips to make your chord progression sound just a little more interesting so the rhythm part of your song is a little more attractive. New guitar tutorials every single Monday. If you like this kind of content, hit subscribe. If you love it, think about becoming a Patreon because you can get printable tabs and breakdowns with every single lesson that will accelerate your learning. Additional links in the description, including my email if you want some one-on-one lessons. Let's go ahead and grab the guitar, brain, attention span. Follow me on in and let's break it down. All right, chords we're working with, B minor. For right now, we're going to use this shape. This is from the A minor shape, second fret, bar the second fret, fourth fret of the D and the G strings with your pinky on the third fret of the B. A major, open, 2, 2, 2, open. G major, 2, 3, 0, 0, 0, 3. And I know you probably know these, but maybe you didn't know the B minor or the F sharp major, which is 2, bar the second fret, fourth fret of both the A and the D string, third fret of the G string with your middle finger, and then the bar finishes second fret of the B and the E. And you've written your chord progression, and it's a beat of B minor, 1, 2, 3, 4, B to A, 1, 2, 3, 4, B to G, 1, 2, 3, 4, B to F sharp, 2, 3, 4 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and boom. Also, to keep it interesting, let's say that you wrote that on the acoustic guitar as well. And so now you're on the electric and you want to maybe see if you can bring out some of the personality of the electric as well. Well, first thing, we kind of maybe need a rhythm. So let's say you start off with something that's like down, 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 up, down, 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 up. And this is what you had on the acoustic too, and you play it 2 times. Well, you should know right away that if you're strumming like that, you're going to get a lot more sound and dynamics with your right hand with a little palm muting on the electric. And I also did 2 things there besides. One was the palm muting, and the other was if you're new to songwriting and you're new to playing the guitar, you probably stick very rigidly to the idea of a strum pattern. It has to be down, 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 up, down, 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 up. Forget that. Not forget the strum pattern, but forget the idea that it has to be that specific strum pattern throughout the entire song. If you occasionally just throw in another up, you're going to get a lot more dynamics, a lot more interest with what you're doing. Also, don't be afraid to let it ring out like that. So just with a little bit of palm muting and a little bit of variance with our right hand, we've already made significant changes to make what we started out with more interesting. So one thing that we can do to give it a little more life and interest, especially if it's a more sparse version, is add a little interest in the chord changes themselves. Something like this. So these are walking bass ideas, but really kind of what I'm doing is I'm thinking about the minor pentatonic scale. And shape 4, which is right where I'm sitting, would be 2, 5, 2, 5, 2, 4, 2, 4, 3, 5, 2, 5. That's a good place to start. We also have the open E, open A, and open D strings available, which is really nice because you can add some hammer-ons and some fun stuff there. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to kind of strum, play some scales, and then play some of the scale and then land on the next chord. And I'm targeting the notes in the bass of the chord. So let me give you an example. We're going to start off with this B minor, pluck the bass note, boom, and then down, up, down. 1, 2, and 3. Then I'm going to play the 2nd fret, 5th fret, 2nd fret, and then open A. As I'm headed to the A chord, I'm playing the open A in the bass. So we get 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3. Is that a basic change? Absolutely. Does it add a lot of dynamics? Absolutely. Especially if, like I said, you're just doing a sparse version. If you're playing this by yourself, for example, it makes a massive difference. But even if you're in a trio with just bass and drums, it does add a lot of flavor to this. Now we're going from the A to the G. One thing you'll also too notice that I'm starting these riffs on the offbeat. That's just to give it a little more movement. In general, if you do things on the and, it's a little less expected for the ear, which is a good thing. So we're going to start off. We're going to play this change like that. We're going to play the open A, then down, up, down. So we're 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Open A string, hammer on the 2nd fret, which is nice because the 2nd fret is a chord tone in the G chord. Follow that by open D string. Again, we're making use of all 3 of those open tones, the O2, 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 which is really, really nice to have in this kind of open walking bass cowboy style. Then we're going to land on the root note of the G. Now, if we think about our G pentatonic, the 2, 5, 2, 5, 2, 3, 2, 3, 3, 5, 2, 5. We didn't have that G note in it. It's because it's not in the pentatonic scale, but it is in the G minor scale. And even if it wasn't, it doesn't really matter because it's in the chord that we're playing. So when you're soloing, and you have a chord, and that chord has notes that aren't in the pentatonic, that's fine. Don't be scared to play them as well. In fact, by leaving the pentatonic and playing those chord notes, targeting the arpeggio of some of these chords, you're really going to bring the color of that chord out. And maybe it's a borrowed chord or comes from another key, and by doing that, you're really going to highlight the underlying harmony, which sounds very nice. It's a concept called playing with the changes, and it's a good thing. So open A, down, up, down, open 2, hammer, open D, root of the bass of the G. That's really making my room rattle. So we put that together. So far we get 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3. This time we're going to go down and 3, and we're going to start this next riff on the 4th beat. 3, woo-hoo-hoo, open E, 2nd fret. That note, something about this G, is the only one doing it. It's kind of like the brown note for this room. If you know, you know. Shout out to South Park. 3, open, and then 2. So we have 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. And then the turnaround lick, after we get here, do, 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 open, 2, open, A string, 2nd fret. So that whole circle, 1, 2, and 3, and cool. just to hear it with some distortion. That's kind of funny because the bass was a little low, the tone was a little low, so it wasn't quite rattling as much. Okay. Okay, so let's say you got two guitars and someone's doing that. The second guitar can simply do this. By letting someone work out that rhythm and just adding these nice long open chords over the top, it really lets that harmony ring out. So we're going to play this B minor shape, 7th fret root, 7, 9, 9, 7, 7, 7. E minor shape, 7th fret, B minor. Move it down 2 frets and get your middle finger down on the 6th fret of the G string. You have an A. Take that A and move it down 2 frets. You have a G. Take it, move it down. So you can just lay these over top. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and boom. These chords, one to keep in mind is if one's really busy, you don't want the other one really busy, because unless they're really focused on overlapping and kind of harmonizing each other, they can get each other's way. So having all that fancy stuff up here, letting these chords ring out, was something that is intentional. And let's say you are in a band and you have 2 guitars, or you're just recording at home, it's a lot easier to sing over this while someone else is doing all that hard stuff. Okay, now within these chords, we have chords. Which also sound amazing layered over each other. We have a B minor here, 9th fret of the D string, 7th fret of both the G and the B. 9, 7, 7. This minor shape is movable all over the fretboard, with the root note being here on the D string. Move this shape down 2 frets and it's an A minor, but get your middle finger on the 6th fret, so now you're playing 7, 6, 5, you have an A major. Again, this shape is movable, which we're going to see, and the root is on the D string. If it's movable, we move it down 2 frets, we have a G major. We move it down a fret, we have an F sharp major. So we can just do a basic finger picking, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and... play that over those chords ringing out, and it's going to sound amazing. Even what we were doing earlier, it's going to sound really nice, especially if this person is letting some of these chords ring out a little more. You'd want to experiment with those two because they are a little more flashy, so you'd want to try to arrange it in a way where they complement each other, they don't clash. We could think about this chord progression too as something harmonically a little more interesting. B minor, A major, G major 7, F sharp 7. And we can really pull that sound out with our finger picking, something like this. Well, also, let's make the pattern a little more interesting as well. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. We're just gonna finish on that 4 and let that one ring out for a whole quarter beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Very subtle change, but it's a nice one. Now, when we get to this G, we're gonna change it up and we're gonna go. That way we can pull out that G major 7 sound. We're gonna run through this chord, 1 and 2 and, then we're gonna make this shape, which if you notice, 5, 4, 3 is G, 4, 4, 3 implies our G major 7 because we're adding the F sharp, the 7th interval. So you're gonna go 1 and 2 and, then make this shape and plug through 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, F sharp, 1 and 2 and as it's the F sharp 7, it's not the note right below, it's the flat 7, 2 frets below. So you're gonna go do 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 do. You could pluck all of them and let them ring out, but we're gonna go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 2, 3, 2. Put it all together. 1 and 2. That B is right in the B minor pentatonic too, so you can have some fun, improvise there if you want. And there you go, folks. Those are some basic tips how to transform your basic chord progression from something that you're just to something a lot more elaborate. I hope you had fun. Internalize these tips and make sure that you try them out in several different keys as well. Okay? Until next time, keep on rocking and rolling. Have a lovely day. Life is good. Take care. And there you go, folks. Those are a couple of tips that you have to take an ordinary chord progression and make it sound extraordinary. This works if you're playing with multiple guitars in the band or just one. You can have some fun with it. Experiment with these ideas. Experiment with other chord progressions in other keys. See how far you can take it and add some life life to those songs that you've already written, including the old ones. Go back and see if you can add a little polish to them and make them just a little more fancy. All right, until next time, keep on rocking and rolling. Life is good, friends. Have a lovely day, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Life is good. Guitar on Monday, ukulele Wednesday and Saturday. Rock and roll.